Jera. So now we're going to see the internal ear structure. Here is a petrous part of the temporal bone, and its structure will be revealed here. So this is a bony labyrinth. So we're going to make it into a few groups: the bony labyrinth, the membranous labyrinth, and the other organs present within them. We're going to also see the vestibulocochlear nerve and its connections, and we're also going to see the functions of the vestibular nerve and the semicircular canals and the spiral organ of corti. We're going to see all of these topics today. So next, here is the bony labyrinth. So you can see that it is arranged in a particular manner. The same manner is adopted in the membranous labyrinth. The membranous labyrinth is present within the bony labyrinth, and we have this snail-like structure. That's why it's named cochlea. Cochlea means snail, so that's why we have this type of a structure, snail-like structure. And here is an oval window and a round window that's attached to this. We have the posterior semicircular canal. So the anterior one is facing to the front, the posterior one the back, and the lateral one this way. So everything is towards the right angle. 1, 2, 3. This is how we have it. And the lateral semicircular canal is shown here, and the canal is shown here. And then we also have the round window, the oval window. The round window is shown here. The oval window is covered by the stapes, fenestra vestibuli and fenestra cochlea. So these are two windows. And the membranous labyrinth is similarly arranged as we saw now. Now we should go to the next thing, bony labyrinth, and this is called the cochlea. So it has 2.5 turns, 1, 2 and a half. So this is the turns that are presented.
Can you show it again, Bhaiya?
This is 1 turn, the second turn, and half turn. So this is the bony labyrinth. Is made out of 2.5 turns. The anterior part of the bony labyrinth is shown over here. It's like somewhat facing this way and bent slant. Now we shall see the basal coil. So what we saw in the middle ear cavity, you can see it over here. There is a huge thing that is shown like a sun over here. This is a promontory, and the promontory is the basal coil of this cochlea. So the cochlea's basal coil is the promontory, what we see here, and below it the oval window and the round window are present, fenestra vestibuli and fenestra cochleae. And here our posterior side is vestibuli. So the medial side of the middle ear cavity is the vestibuli, and the vestibuli contains the saccule and the utricle, and those are very important organs which I shall explain now. And here it is full cochlea. The cochlea has a small bony pillar in the middle. It's called the modulus, and the modulus contains a spiral organ of this modulus contains it contains a spiral organ of corti, or the cochlear duct. And I should explain about that. The spiral ganglion which transmits the cochlear nerve. So we know about the vestibulocochlear nerve, which is the 8th cranial nerve. This is transmitted by the modulus, which contains the spiral ganglion. And over here we have this basilar, we have the spiral bridge. So basically it's a membrane like this. Then we have the modulus. The modulus has a spiral ganglion which transmits the cochlear nerve. Then we have the basilar membrane completing it, and the upper part of it is known as scala vestibuli, and the down part is known as scala tympani, because the reason why is that the lower part is almost connected to the it is close to the tympanic cavity, so it is known as scala tympani. The upper part is scala vestibuli because it's close to the vestibule, then to the middle ear cavity. Here is the basilar membrane that completes the whole cut between the two parts of the cochlea, and the basilar membrane has just broken it and just made a difference between the whole thing and divided into two parts. The higher area forms the promontory. This is a basilar coil. There's a basal coil, and then there are a few communications between this cochlea. There's a hole called helicotrema that allows communication between these two, and this contains a very important organ, this modulus spiral ganglion, that is called the spiral organ of Corti, that is lodged within the cochlear duct. Now we shall see that this basal coil is closed by a bony lamina, and this actually prevents the connection between the two things, that is the middle ear cavity and the internal ear. So this actually is a covering, it's a bony lamina type of thing. The spiral organ of Corti is present in the modulus as seen now, and that is supplied by the cochlear nerve. And next we shall see the three semicircular canals. So the one here is the anterior one, superiorly anterior. So it's somewhat raised up like this and facing forward. The lateral one faces this way and the posterior one faces behind. So this is the basic structure. And can you please zoom in here, Abhigya? This is the saccule and this is the utricle, and this whole thing is called the vestibule. Basically, the three semicircular canals, and they have 6 openings, and 5 of these openings are connected into 3 special organs, the saccule, the utricle, which are lodged within the vestibule, and all of it is connected by the vestibule over here. And here we have the lateral semicircular duct and the superiorly anterior semicircular duct, and we have the posterior semicircular duct. All of these are somewhat, they are connected to each other at this point called the vestibule. And here we have a totally different part, that's the cochlear duct, and we have the cochlear nerve, which also comes here. We have the spiral organ of Corti as seen here, like a green cactus. So it is somewhat like that, has rod cells and hair cells at the top. These are hair cells, these are rod cells. So this is the vestibular nerve and this is the cochlear nerve, and the semicircular canals are supplied by the vestibular nerve, whereas the cochlear nerve supplies the cochlear canal or duct. And now we shall see the position of these 3 ducts. It is like this: one posterior, one anterior, and one lateral. So they are all at a right angle, almost a right angle, 90 degrees. The vestibular nerve supplies these 3 semicircular canals, so they have 2 different purposes. The vestibular nerve balances the body and maintains the kinetic balance of the body through the saccule and utricle and the vestibule and the 3 semicircular ducts, whereas the cochlear nerve is a nerve of hearing. So these are the 2 different nerves that are used. And the spiral organ of Corti doesn't have any blood vessels, and it is supplied by the Corti lymph.